Hi everybody and welcome to Take Your Time Gaming. I'm your host Katie. Thank you for being here on this very special occasion because, thanks to all of you, I have hit 500 YouTube subscribers. Thank you! I am thrilled to pieces. I appreciate each and every one of you who watches my videos, who subscribes to the channel, who cheers me on. Thank you. This one is for you guys. Cheers to you. So, as you no doubt could tell from the introduction, it's time for a new cocktail episode. And this one is arguably the most famous of Tiki cocktails, the Zombie. Now, I will be making the 1934 Dawn the Beachcomber Zombie original recipe. And as you can see by the tableau we have out here, it's a bit of a complicated beverage, but if you have all the ingredients, it yields something very tasty. I'm sure most of you are actually familiar with this cocktail because it's very popular in restaurants. And you will be aware, when you see it on the menu, there is text that always seems to be accompanying this beverage. And it reads, "Limit 2 per customer." And that's because this cocktail will turn you into a literal zombie. It is strong, but it's also delicious. Just be careful when you're making these for your friends and family. So the Zombie is the cocktail that kicked off the Tiki movement, and it really showcases exactly what a Tiki cocktail is made of. Multiple different types of rums, fresh fruit juices, innovative mixes, and a really cool mug. So without further ado, let's make one, shall we? So first ingredient, fresh squeezed strained lime juice. And we want 3/4 of an ounce of this. And you will not be surprised to see that, as per usual, I still haven't bought myself a jigger, so I'm using a shot glass. Oh well. However, for this cocktail, it's a blended drink, so I don't need a cocktail shaker. So just take all of your ingredients and pour them directly into your blender. Next, we have 1/2 ounce of Dawn's Mix. Now, Dawn the Beachcomber always wrote his recipe books sort of in code so that it would be really hard for someone else to steal his recipes. But thanks to people like Beach Bum Berry, we now know what he means when in his books he says Dawn's Mix. And what Beach Bum Berry says Dawn's Mix is, it's 2 parts white grapefruit juice to 1 part cinnamon simple syrup. And that's very easy to make at home. You just boil some cinnamon sticks and sugar and water on the stove. So I already have prepared here Dawn's Mix. And as per usual, I've had to substitute pink grapefruit juice. If you're doing that, the cocktail might be a little sweeter than usual, but oh well. I went to 2 different grocery stores and still couldn't find white grapefruit juice. So going to pour 1/2 ounce of this. Next we have falernum. And you've seen me use falernum before. It's from Barbados. It's a mixture, it's a liqueur made from lime juice, almonds, cloves. It's delicious. You can make your own, but I'm lazy. So 1/2 ounce of this guy. And then we need 1.5 ounces of gold Puerto Rican rum. And the gold Puerto Rican rum I have chosen is the Bacardi 8 Years. This is a little bit more expensive than other gold Puerto Rican rums you can buy. I don't recommend getting the base Bacardi Gold because I think it's kind of tasteless. If you want something more affordable, I recommend the Flor de Caña Gold. And that is a Nicaraguan rum, but it substitutes really well for anything from Puerto Rico. But I'm gonna use this because when you're making a zombie, why not go all out? And now we need 1.5 ounces of aged Jamaican rum. And like in my Mai Tai, I really love the Appleton Rare Blend 12 year. So I'm going to be using that. Now I'd like to interrupt the making of this cocktail very briefly to just talk about what you can do if you don't have all of these ingredients. I don't want your wallet to discourage you from trying to make a cocktail like this. When I first started getting into Tiki drinks, 5 years ago, it took me a really long time to amass all of the ingredients I needed to make a proper zombie. So what I started doing was just experimenting with what I had. And I came up with a drink that I actually called the Infected. Haha, I think that's really clever, so I wanted to share that with the public. But, and it was delicious. It's not a true zombie. I didn't have falernum or anything like that. I made do with like actually shaking cinnamon into the drink. But it was tasty and it was a good learning experience for me. So don't be afraid to try things, even if it's not what the recipe book says to do. Okay, soapbox rant over, we can move on. So now we need 1 ounce of 151 Demerara rum. The original zombie recipe actually calls for Lemon Heart, and that's a specific brand of Lemon Heart 151. It's a specific brand of rum. And it had a really smoky, delicious Demerara flavor. The problem is, a couple years ago, Lemon Heart went off the shelves. I think it came under new ownership, and when it came back, the formulation had changed. So the closest that I have been able to find, and I think that many Tiki files have been able to find, to the original Lemon Heart formulation is Hamilton 151. So I use this. You can go ahead and try the Lemon Heart 151 if you want and just compare the two, see what you like better. I actually prefer this one, but just know that you have some options. So we're gonna take this overproof Demerara rum and add 1.5 ounces of it. Now it calls for a dash of Angostura bitters. Dash. I'm almost out, so it did not come out in full dash 4. And now we need 6 drops of Pernod. Now, Pernod is an anise flavored liqueur, kind of similar to absinthe. However, Pernod is rather pricey. So what you can buy instead is Herbsaint. It's basically the exact same thing, but cheaper. So I have this giant bottle of Herbsaint that I got for maybe $15, and I poured some in a shot glass, and I have my handy dandy eyedropper here so that I can put 6 drops of it in there. And you would be surprised how much this flavor comes through. So yes, I would say it's necessary to round out the cocktail, and yes, you really only want 6 drops of it. But the zombie is one of my favorite cocktails to make, simply because I do get to use an eyedropper. All right, now we need a teaspoon of grenadine. And I can't recall if I have talked about grenadine in one of my cocktail episodes before, but grenadine is a pomegranate-based syrup. And you'll see in restaurants that a lot of bars just use maraschino cherry syrup. And that's disgusting and not what true grenadine is. So I use the Jeffrey Morgenthaler's recipe, and I just make it at home. It's really, really easy. You just use pomegranate syrup, pomegranate juice, orange blossom water, and vodka to preserve it. And there you go. Super easy. Look that recipe up. But make sure whatever you buy, if you buy it off the shelf, it's pomegranate and not maraschino cherry. So I need a teaspoon of this. And then 6 ounces of crushed ice. Put it all in the blender, blend for no more than 5 seconds, and then pour into your amazing mug. So I'm going to go fill up my measuring cup with 6 ounces of crushed ice and then blend it. 6 ounces of crushed ice. Going to blend no more than 5 seconds. 3, 4, 5. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put some whole ice cubes in this. Also, as you can see, I am using my Horror and Clay pseudopod mug. They are a great purveyor of handcrafted tiki mugs, and I just stepped on some ice. There we go. And your garnish for a zombie, typically just a mint sprig. Embarrass the mint. No, just distress the mint slightly. You don't want it, to need therapy, but just upset it a little bit. Here we go. And this is your zombie cocktail. So it's my favorite part of the episode where we get to drink it. Let's try it. Oh my God, I haven't made one of these in so long. This is so good. Dangerously good. Oh yeah. Cameraman, would you like to try this zombie? Yeah. Guys, I gotta tell you, it might be complicated. It might seem a little scary at first, but it's so worth it. It's so good. So let's wrap up this cocktail episode. Thank you again. I really, really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this cocktail episode, please thumbs up it, share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so, because of course, when I hit 600 subscribers, I will be making yet another cocktail episode. So do look forward to that. And I think that's it for today. Guys, have a fantastic rest of your evening. Cheers.